Today we'll be talking about media streaming devices. First, let's talk about why do we need these media streaming devices. Well, as we move away from traditional cable TV services to more digital and data-centric platforms, we can see a paradigm shift in the way people consume data. Personal devices such as mobile phones, tablets and PC has become a primary means of entertainment consumption. But there is a big but in this. A large number of people still like to consume their entertainment on the big screen and possibly on the biggest screen at home, which is usually the television. Now we have seen a great influx of smart TVs into the market, which will let you install any app that you like on the TV itself and consume the app's content. But there is a great deal of unsatisfaction among smart TV users regarding the UI, system updates and apps availability. The main reason for this dissatisfaction of smart TVs is because the app market is very dynamic. The app needs constant updating and the content becomes more and more processor intensive like 4K content, which in turn makes using the smart TV UI a not so user friendly experience. And as an industry, we still don't see the television manufacturing industry moving towards building smart TVs with multimedia centric processors. At this stage comes the influx of media streaming devices. These devices has a dedicated processor to process videos, audios and images, and they are usually much more cheaper than a conventional HD or 4K television, which makes them instantly accessible to a wide range of prospective customers. The first entrant in the streaming device market is from Google and it's called Chromecast, but it has a category of its own because it doesn't have a UI. As a user, you need to have a mobile device or a PC handy with you to consume content on the TV through Chromecast. And precisely the lack of UI in the Chromecast has become a major drawback for many digital content consumers, as people usually love to browse on the big screen than browse on the mobile devices or laptops. And mind you, corporate rivalry is also a major issue with Chromecast as it doesn't support Amazon Prime Video. Then comes the influx of digital media streaming devices such as Amazon Fire Stick, MyBox, Apple TV and Roku Box. And we have entertainment systems as well such as PlayStation and Xbox, which supports many of the international streaming services like Netflix, Amazon Prime Video, HBO, Red Bull TV and all. Now let's compare three devices and see which one fits our requirement for a media streaming device more aptly. We will test a Chromecast, a Amazon Fire Stick and a PlayStation 4. Now you may ask, why compare a pure gaming console with media streaming device which cost almost 1/10 of its price? Well, because irrespective of the price, looking at the number of gaming consoles sold every year and since each console usually sits on the main living room of a household, the console manufacturers and Steam service providers have realized that it makes perfect sense for the service providers to make their respective apps readily available on these gaming consoles. Now since all the three devices use three different platforms, the availability of apps in each of these devices will be different. Disclaimer, we are testing all these devices in India and we will test the following parameters: app availability, app UI design, control options, additional functionalities on the system, and at last the price. Let us first start off with apps availability and let's talk about Chromecast. Since Chromecast doesn't have its own UI, it's not really a fair playing ground for all. But hey, who wants fair? We are looking at user convenience. So the number of apps that supports Chromecast is very large. International giants like Netflix, YouTube, HBO, Red Bull TV all supports Chromecast, but there is one big exception, that is Amazon Prime Video, which doesn't support Chromecast. Then we have Indian streaming service providers like Hotstar, Hungama, ZEE5 and music service providers like Gaana, Saavn, Wynk. All these services support Chromecast. The list is huge, which means that when we talk about app availability, the Chromecast is one of the top contenders. Now let's talk about availability of apps in Amazon Fire Stick. Again, all the big national and international streaming services are available, including Amazon Prime Video. But obviously, since it's an Amazon product, with the exception of YouTube, you can still access YouTube through a browser, but the YouTube app is not officially available on the Amazon Fire Stick. This keeps the Amazon Fire Stick on par with Chromecast in terms of app availability. Now let's talk about the PlayStation 4. Well, it's a really tricky situation here. First, it makes up for the shortcomings of the Amazon Fire Stick and Chromecast by supporting the YouTube app and Amazon Prime Video app natively. It supports a wide range of international apps like Netflix, Hulu, HBO Go, Red Bull TV, GoPro TV and all. But it falls seriously short in the Indian or Desi streaming service department. Almost no Indian service providers like Hotstar, ZEE5, Hungama supports the PlayStation platform. This makes the PlayStation 4 the least accessible entertainment device of all. Now let's talk about the UI design of these apps and services. First, let's talk about Chromecast. And since the Chromecast doesn't have its own UI, the user has to rely on the mobile app or the web-based UI of the service. This is a major disadvantage for the Chromecast as people generally dislike browsing or searching for entertainment content on a second device other than the television. Now let's talk about Amazon Fire Stick. Most of the apps are designed well for the Amazon Fire Stick. However, sometimes finding the right kind of content to watch becomes difficult as the UI can confuse people sometimes. Amazon Prime Video contents are readily available when you power on the Amazon Fire Stick, and it sometimes feels cluttered with snapshots of contents from other services as well. In terms of search, Alexa voice search works on Amazon Prime Video only, and for other apps it converts the voice into text and runs a text-based search on those limited apps. For example, Alexa search doesn't work on Netflix, Hotstar, ZEE5 or other services. Let's talk about the PlayStation 4 now. Well, in terms of UI design and apps layout, the PS4 system seems to be the cleanest and the uncluttered of all. Well, it may also be because of the processing power and RAM it has under the hood. The system starts downloading preview content readily. When you browse the content on Netflix or Amazon Prime or YouTube, it feels more intuitive. Just to give you a perspective, the Netflix app loads up to around 1 GB in size as it caches more content to make your viewing experience more enjoyable. But mind you, all this means that out of the three devices, the PS4 uses the most amount of data. But since we are talking about UI here, we feel the apps in the PS4 has done a good job in this department. Now let's talk about the control options. Let's start off with Chromecast first. Well, you need to use your mobile device or PC to control media on Chromecast. You can control almost all aspects like video quality, play, pause, fast forward through the mobile app or web. You can even control volume as well. Now let's talk about the Amazon Fire Stick. And the reason why we mentioned volume is controllable in Chromecast, it's because it's not controllable on Amazon Fire Stick. The main controller of the Amazon Fire Stick is the Fire Stick remote. It's a Bluetooth remote that can browse, play, stop content through this remote. You can also do a Alexa voice search as well through the remote microphone, but you don't have a volume control button and power on-off button in the remote itself. But the good thing about the Amazon Fire Stick is that if your TV supports DLNA technology, you can use your normal TV remote to control the Amazon Fire Stick. The next one is PlayStation 4. The main controller is the standard game controller of the PlayStation 4. Again, volume or mute options are not available in the game controller, but all other aspects of video playback such as play, pause, stop is possible through the game controller. And the PS4 also supports DLNA technology, which means that if your TV supports DLNA, then you can use your TV remote control to browse through any app on the PS4. The PS4 controller also comes with a headphone jack as well, where you can plug any standard headphone and start listening through the headphones. Now let's talk about any additional functionalities that these three devices might have. Well, the Chromecast is sometimes used as a second screen for some games. Games like Angry Birds, Deer Hunter are playable in Chromecast, where your mobile device acts as an independent controller of the game you play. You can find more about this on the Chromecast gaming review that we have. You can also use it as a mirror for your laptop and mobile screens into the TV. Now let's talk about the Amazon Fire Stick. Internet browsers like Mozilla and Scroll is available in the Amazon Fire Stick, which means that you can browse almost anything in there. But it still remains a question, what would you like to browse in the Amazon Fire Stick which you cannot do on your phone or laptop, assuming you have access to your phone and laptop. Now the Amazon Fire Stick also supports Bluetooth headphones as well. which makes it the only device out of the three which supports normal Bluetooth headphone. The PS4 doesn't support Bluetooth headphones and the Chromecast doesn't have a Bluetooth connectivity options at all. But the PS4 controller has a headphone jack, remember? And the last one is the PlayStation 4. Well, it is a Blu-ray DVD player, a powerful gaming device. The games are expensive, but most of them are worthy, and as a additional functionality, it lets you install and play streaming services as well. That's how we look at it. Finally, let's talk about the prices. Chromecast 2 is the cheapest of all at around 2000 bucks. Chromecast 3 would be available at around 3500 bucks. And if you have a Chromecast 2, then there is no need for you to upgrade to Chromecast 3. Let's talk about the Amazon Fire Stick. It is the second most affordable device. It usually costs around 3000 rupees, and a 4K version of the Amazon Fire Stick is about to be launched. It would be priced at around 6000 bucks. But it will have a power on-off button and a volume key as well. If you have a Chromecast 2 and you are looking for update, you can look at the Amazon Fire Stick as a viable option. And at last, we have the PlayStation 4. Well, it retails for around 30,000 rupees, and frankly, you will not buy it for your streaming needs, you will buy it for your gaming needs. Our suggestion, if you want an almost complete package with media streaming devices, go for Amazon Fire Stick for around 3000 bucks or the Amazon Fire Stick 4K for around 6000 bucks. We say almost complete because YouTube doesn't have an app on Amazon Fire Stick. You need to use the browser to access YouTube. And if you already have a PlayStation 4 or Xbox and you want to bridge the gap of accessing desi Indian streaming providers, then go for Chromecast 2 only because it is cheaper, or else Amazon Fire Stick is the best way to go.